first sees all.
Remember when I showed you this in the last video? Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you, new subscribers. You have no idea how much it means to me for you to be here to help me grow this wonderful community, which is by this point, it's called our family, because we are one online family. Remember me showing you this one beside Archimedes crater with, there's two UFOs, by the way. I'm only showing one, but there's one over top ahead of this one going by in the bottom right. But I want you to notice something that I didn't even mention at all, ever showing this, is that the light stops. Watch. Boom. What does that prove to us? Well, right off the bat, it proves to us that it's not debris, because debris does not stop in mid-air. Can you imagine me having missed that one? Looking at the footage myself, didn't even notice it. Watch it stop. Beautiful, glowing, mysterious ghost. Watch it stop right there. Literally stops over top of a section. So why did that light stop beside Archimedes crater? Look at the sun refracting off the surface there, showing us a hidden, mysterious surface. Good morning, everyone. 3:45 a.m. I'm up early this morning to get a video up before the first stream, which I rarely do because usually the views don't go up. But it doesn't matter. Those of you that take the time to come by the channel to check out the research is good enough for me, and I'm extremely honored to have you all here. Thanks for leaving a comment and for your interest in the research. Let's get into the video. With visual proof and straight up facts, they tell us in nature, hey, look at that shape there. What is that built on the surface? Even though it's not straight or perfectly symmetrical, we know it's still built. It's not something that formed naturally. In nature, we know as a fact that rectangles do not form themselves. We know that in archaeology, we know that with geologists, we know that with every field that relates to people in their field that have to do research on other planets, on surfaces, to look for life, to look for cities, to look for aliens. When you see a square on the moon or a planet, it was not formed naturally, especially not these large rectangles. Why don't squares appear in nature and naturally? It's because squares are mostly made by humans. However, some crystals and rock formations, they can have square edges. Those are examples of squares that can be found in nature, but not as big as this. We're talking miles and miles wide and long. The exception here in science or geology or archaeology, whatever field you're working in and trying to look for natural formations, the exception here are circles and spheres. Circles and spheres are easy enough to create since it essentially involves a steady growth in all directions. It could possibly be achieved, right? Doesn't mean the circles we see are that, right? From a single point outwards. Squares, on the other hand, would require much more precise control and precision, varied growth pace, and great coordination not yet seen here on Earth. So I could only imagine on the moon these massive shapes and forms that we are seeing, that we're going to see a couple more throughout the video. It has to be something that was built. And this is proven through facts online, not by wishful thinking or trying to force people to believe because I want there to be cities on the moon. I couldn't care less. They're there, though. They are actually there. Many areas seen without any manipulative filters, just straight up bringing down the exposure. And what's this? Aristarchus crater. Well, look at that naturally, again, with no filters, and you can see that it's not only the sunlight that is causing, not at all actually, I don't think the sunlight at all is causing any of these structures to flash and to be refractive the way we're seeing them. The moon has an atmosphere. The atmosphere is making it hard for us to see the surface, quite simply. But that atmosphere is helping us see that there are beings there, lights, explosions, volcanoes. I mean, whatever you want it to be, it's there, and it's never been spoken about, these billowing lights. NASA has a way of explaining the surface, right? That impresses a lot of people. But when it comes to analyzing proof and real footage, visual proof, let's head over to Sinus Iridum, moving right along. 3 energy sources connected to lines and those towering objects right there. Squares do not form naturally. The size of this square is big. Bessel crater on that line in the center that you can see right on the center line there, at the back of this arrow, is about 9 to 10 kilometers. Okay? So to give you an idea of the size of this other object, it's 20, 30 kilometers, maybe 35 kilometers. And again, those 3 light sources where Apollo 17 declared landing, 3 lines and towers. So they didn't go the way they showed the public, but somebody definitely could have gone there on the moon. Got a lot of channels, a lot of people believing that we can't leave the firmament. Who says the firmament's not past the moon? There'll always be discussion on that. More formations here. Let's head over to an area just at the bottom of Mare Fecunditatis. UFOs light up and leave the surface. They're hiding under the hazes. This is important information to get out to everybody, trying to get out as much information as I can. We can even see the UFO, the object in the center, when I'll back it up there, and you'll see right there, you can actually see a dot and a massive fire at the back of this object who leaves like a bat out of hell, but in synchronicity, timed with all the other ones moving across the surface at the same time. You can see the frame rate, boom, 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 as they're going across the moon simultaneously in formation. So under those hazes, that's where they're hiding, and everyone can get a chance to see them. But you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to slow the footage down, get equipment to be able to see it as clear as you can. You don't need a 100-inch telescope, but a 14-inch definitely helps. Maybe a bit bigger will help even more. So you can see it right there, right? The fire is so big, it's 10 times the size of the object that's taking off. It looks like some type of fusion or plasma propulsion. I mean, this is, holy crap, so interesting. We know where it is, at the bottom of Mare Fecunditatis. There's more than one that are flying around. And listen, 5 a.m. or not, or 3 a.m. or not, almost 5 now, working on this video, and I'm getting so excited. I'm awake like I'm in the middle of the afternoon looking at all these features and just wondering how it cannot be in the news. Triangular formations, aside from circles and squares. This is an important video if we want to know about formations and squares, if they're natural or not. We need information from professionals. Well, they're telling us that these objects cannot form by themselves, let alone a triangle. They're doing some type of work up there, and the UFO lights go into these massive clouds that they work around, wondering what they're doing. Definitely applying some type of chemical into the atmosphere, or that there's a reaction, chemical reaction with the lunar atmosphere. It's just absolutely incredible. Patterns in nature are visible regularities of form found in the nature world. These patterns recur in different contexts and can sometimes be modeled mathematically. Natural patterns include symmetries, trees, spirals, meanders, waves, loams, tessellations, cracks, and even stripes. Early Greek philosophers studied patterns with Plato, Pythagoras, and Empedocles, attempting to explain order in nature. The modern understanding of visible patterns developed gradually over time and obviously are still developing. Now, see, shape patterns in geometry, we're talking small sizes. What's the most common geometric shape in nature? Well, in nature, you can have hexagons. They fall under the category of geometry called plane geometry and appear in beehives, crystals, plants, and snowflakes. But we're talking on a big scale, right? Natural triangular formations as wide as 15 kilometers does not form naturally. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for my event contributions, everybody. Thanks for listening. Everyone, thanks for the generous contributions, and thanks for watching the videos.
Aliens are up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. Aliens are mining on the moon. Yes, they are up there. Doesn't matter, cause disclosure's coming soon. Disclosure's coming soon.